Welcome back to Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Thursday, August 23rd, 2018. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. We're at that point right now in prep season where everyone still thinks they've got a shot to be the one who shows up and sets the world on fire. And now that he's less than a month away from the biggest show of his career, I think it's a pretty safe bet to say that classic physique standout Khaled Chikhaoui is feeling pretty good about where he stands. The latest updates from the 2018 Vancouver Pro Champ look pretty spot on, and my people up there north of the border tell me that he and his team feel like they're ready to take another step up to the next level. Just about anyone you ask will tell you that this Classic Physique Olympia lineup should be the best one yet, but I wouldn't put it past this guy to creep up on some people once this thing is all said and done. Now that we're in primetime sports betting season, here's a little pro tip for you. You make the biggest money when you bet on the underdogs. So if you're in the market for a top 10, 212 underdog with 3 weeks still left on the books, maybe you want to consider throwing down a few dollars on Ahmad ElSadany. Over the weekend, Team ElSadany dropped a few not so subtle hints that they were planning to make some noise at this year's contest. If you've been following his career for the last 3 years or so, it feels like ElSadany is a guy who's just exploded onto the scene. And if you're a gambler and you've got a guy riding a hot streak, then you know it's time to strap on and ride that bad boy till the wheels fall off. You know, now that I've been married a few years, I can speak from experience when I say to these young guys that hell really has no fury like a woman's scorn. And considering that she's been a little bit of an outsider in the conversation leading up to this year's Women's Physique Olympia, I bet Ciaran Newman is all sorts of pissed off right now. Somehow, even with 3 consecutive top 5 finishes on her resume, it still feels like she's underrated in the sense that I don't think people are looking at her as a serious title threat this year. But I'll tell you what, if you want to be one of the ones to underestimate her, go ahead and be my guest, because I'm sure there's nothing she'd like more than to prove everyone wrong by going out there and doing exactly what she always does, kill it at the highest level. Here's a quick bodybuilding 101 lesson for all you newbies out there. If you think reaching your true potential will be anything less than a monumental struggle, then you might as well go ahead and quit now, because this isn't for you. But if you're willing to accept the price of admission, allow me to officially welcome you to the club. This week we saw another keynote performance put out by none other than 2008 Mr. Olympia, Dexter Jackson, who doesn't seem like he's been slowing down even a little bit. Even at this point in his career, you can't help but marvel at how incredible this guy is sometimes when he's up there in his element. And I know there will be a whole lot of people out there in that audience who would love to see nothing more than Dexter up there in the first call out, fighting for another chance to make history. Everyone down here in the Gulf area is already starting to lock down the windows and doors in preparation for hurricane season, now that it's right around the corner. But I think it's probably a good time to start getting ready for the Category 5 heading to Vegas next month, who goes by the name of Dany Castillo. The former Physique International champ looks like she's on a crash course with the top 5 placing at the Olympia next month based on her latest updates. Everything I've heard so far from people near her has been nothing but positive, with most people seeming to think that she's already at her all-time best. I still think a 100% Dany Castillo is about as good as it gets, so if she's on her game, I don't see any way how she doesn't come out of this weekend as a big winner. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.